Welcome to Solving Citizen Legal Encounters. All right, today McGoo is back in court again with a brand new charge. Now, he's been in court previously in Judge Simpson's court for a resisting and assaulting police officer charge that he had a while back. Now, during that time, he was kind of still learning the script, and now we're going to see how he acts in this hearing. But before then, let me show you a little clip of how he acted in Judge Simpson's court. You can compare that to the hearing you're about to see. Let's go.
So what do we wish to do today?
I would like to first file a request for suppression of this evidence until
Suppression of what evidence?
Of body cams, squad footage.
On what basis would you be doing that?
Miranda versus Arizona.
Which says what?
That I was not read my rights prior to being detained, and because of that, any violations that I could have possibly said that could impede my case.
Okay, now you see how his demeanor is in the previous hearing, so we're going to check out his demeanor in this hearing. And also, a lot of defendants who get arrested always want to argue the fact about them not being read their rights when they're arrested. Your rights only had to be read to you when you're being interrogated or asked any questions. That's when your rights need to be read to you.
Hello, can I have your name, please?
My name is Daniel McGoo.
Okay, just a moment. And generally speaking, I appoint the public defender's office to represent at least at the arraignment stage, but I was informed that you didn't want to speak with the public defender, so are you intending to represent yourself for the arraignment?
I'm here to figure out what the charges are. What am I being charged with?
Now calling case number 25S00289. This is the state of Michigan versus Daniel Ryan McGoo. Can you please state your name for the record?
I'm trying to figure out what the charge is.
Yes, that is the purpose of the hearing today. So, as
Who's
part of
the complaining victim?
As part of the proceedings, can I have you please state your name for the record?
My name is Daniel McGoo,
Okay,
and I am not a surety of the state. I'm not a ward of the state.
So when he says he's not a surety of the state, he's basically saying, I'm not the all caps name. That's the first thing. And then the second thing, when he's talking about I'm not a ward of the state, basically he's saying that the state doesn't have any jurisdiction over him. So that's just a different way of putting it. So he's obviously been studying somewhere. And no, he has not been to the Sovereign Citizen Institute.
Can I ask what the charges are?
Yes, I am getting there. Please give me a moment. So what we are here for today is an arraignment. The purpose of an arraignment is to inform you what you are being charged with and to make sure that you understand the charges. I am not going to be asking if you agree with the charges. I am not even going to be asking if you understand why you are being charged with them. The purpose is to make sure that you understand what the charges mean and that you understand what the potential maximum penalties are. So what I have here is a misdemeanor complaint that charges that on or about or between the dates of February 15th, 2025 and June 23rd, 2025 at 6/9. You did maliciously use a service provided by a telecommunications service provider with the intent to terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, annoy, or disturb the peace and quiet of an individual with whom you have a child in common by using any vulgar, indecent, obscene, or offensive language or suggesting any lewd or lascivious act in the course of a conversation or message through the use of a telecommunications service or device. This is otherwise known as malicious use of a telecommunications service. Do you understand what the charge means?
The magistrate paused on understand, but she went with it. Let's see how it turns out.
I do not understand that. I do not understand malicious use of a telephone service.
Do you comprehend that what I am saying is that you allegedly maliciously used a telecommunications service device that would generally be a cell phone. I suppose it could also be a computer or something else
No, that
you
didn't
could
happen.
use. Okay. And again,
February,
as I
what were the
stated,
dates? What dates?
between February 15th and June 23rd
Of this
of
year?
this year. Yes. Okay. Now, as I stated at the beginning, I'm not asking you if you agree with the charges. I'm not asking you if you understand why you're being charged with them. What I want to know, basically, is do you know what the words coming out of my mouth mean?
No.
If he just answered her question, doesn't that mean he understands?
Okay. So the way that this is going to work is this. If I am not able to arraign you on the charges because I can't tell if you understand what I am saying, then the next thing that happens is that you get referred for a competency evaluation. At this point, I do not know how long that will take, and that means that you will stay where you are until we are able to either arraign you or you are determined to be incompetent.
So I don't have, I'm not like I said before, I'm not a surety. I'm not a ward. I'm actually a protected individual and did no crime. There has been no body of a crime, no corpus delicti. I have committed no crime at all.
Once again, he understands the words that's coming out of her mouth. That's why they're having a conversation. Now she's bringing up competency. Let's see how he acts with that.
Mr. McGoo. If I cannot determine whether or not you can understand what you're being charged with, then I cannot arraign you.
Okay.
So,
If there is not a body of a crime, if I have not harmed anybody, then you can't arraign me.
Okay, we're going to go over this corpus delicti because you always hear the sovereign citizens say that. So he just said corpus delicti, body of the crime. Corpus delicti is a Latin word, which means body of the crime. But when it comes to a crime, it doesn't mean a body, a person. It means the body of the crime of the facts and things that you find to put everything together to prove that a crime has been committed. But they use the Latin word of body of the crime, meaning you don't have a person. Where's the victim? All of the stuff that they say, which means absolutely nothing.
It's corpus delicti. It can't happen. And if you do try to enter in a plea of competency or I don't know what is that? What you're gonna hold me here hostage until what? A body of a crime happens? When is the crime gonna happen?
okay. So, Mr. McGoo, we will not be proceeding today with the arraignment. You are free to go to the door and tell the jail that you are finished. Thank you.
Now, I want to say Magistrate Braley handled that like a boss, and I'm going to tell you why. One, she didn't argue with him. Two, her patience was going up a little bit. And three, okay, you don't want to participate? Then we'll participate for you, because I'm sure she's going to order that competency hearing. And I know he knows about that because I believe he already had one prior to the last case that he did when he represented himself. And it was a complete mess in court if you hadn't seen that one. But let's see what happens on this next hearing. It's the same road over and over again. It leads them down the path of where they're never going to win it. I have not seen one sovereign citizen run this script, and at the end, they had a solid win. If you saw it, let me know, put it in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.